Hi guys, and welcome back to Giving Spring Podcast. And we are so happy to have this segment today that's going to be all about mothers. As you can see, I got my copy and paste, and so does Siobhan. And yeah, I was so excited to have this segment where we're going to just be diving into motherhood and as well as identity. So we'll have our parents now introduce themselves. So we'll start with my mom, and then we'll go to Siobhan's mom.
Okay, my name is Nokulunga Tele, and I'm a mother of 4 daughters. Her being the firstborn, secondborn Asim Tuse, thirdborn Anele, and lastborn, my lovely daughter, Ayoki. I know she would love that one. That was for you, baby. Okay. Do you have to shout out?
Shout out!
Shout out to the youngest.
Oh, hi everybody. My name is Fiona Kruger. I'm Siobhan's mom. So I'm a mother of 2. Siobhan is the youngest and my eldest is Jacques.
Yay, that's nice.
Okay, so before we hit it off, I have a question I've been dying to ask. What are you most looking forward to for this Mother's Day?
I like Siobhan's mom. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we can dream, eh? Breakfast in bed. Weekend by the seaside.
Oh,
What else? A buffet breakfast, a buffet lunch. That's what I look forward to. And then spending it with the family.
no, that's so nice.
I've been spoiled. Yes. For all over these years, I've been so spoiled. And since now they're starting to leave the home nest, so it's up to me now. I'm thinking I'll be probably just relaxing, just having a chill day. And probably my husband, I get to be treated by him on Mother's Day. So I cannot wait to see what he had for me.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so nice. That sounds nice. So, taking notes now. You're taking notes.
Future mothers.
You're like, okay, do this for mom this Mother's Day. Okay, I really like that. Just as we were talking about Mother's Day and, being a mother, maybe you guys can just share with us, like, how has it been, especially since we're both, you're in now the stage of where, empty nester. Do you miss us?
Do I miss you guys? Yeah, there are days where I really miss. But I still have 2 of them that I still behind. So, but the 2 that have already left, yes, there are days where I utterly miss you guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Okay, so we know many mothers feel the pressure to hold it all together and put on this perfect facade and make sure that the kids don't see us being sad or anything. But what has your real unfiltered mental health journey looked like?
Okay, for me, I would say take a hot bath with candles, unwind, and listen to cool music or relaxing music, and a good book. Yes, that is what I would like. That I like to do to unwind.
Yeah, I think it's almost the same with me as well. Just to unwind, but I never get to have that when I was still raising them. It was literally grinding motherhood, which I don't regret, because that's why probably I don't miss it, because I think I've done my
part.
And then probably I've done good enough that they will not feel the need, anxieties of motherhood. But I do understand that there are women who really feel that pressure of motherhood. Luckily, I never did.
Yes, and for me, when they were smaller, it was a bit like you said, it was difficult because my children are 2 years apart, so they grew up like twins. So it was like two of everything, you know. When the one have chicken pox and the other one have chicken pox, when the one is just recovering, you know, that type of thing. But I would always, when they went to creche, I would take some time out, go watch a movie because I love movies. They know Hallmark, rom-com. So I would take that Tuesday was my day, my me time. I would take time off and go watch a movie. And that was like my escapism or time for me to relax. And I thought, you know, later I wasn't always able to do that because, you know, with work. But I've seen the importance of making time for yourself also, because I feel that I can't be a good mother or the best version of myself if I don't take care of myself first. And like she said, you know, normally you'll have to maybe just go in a room, put the pillow over your head and scream, not over your head, but you know, over your mouth and scream. Because sometimes, you know, we just want to be that perfect in front of the children, but yeah.
That is so true. My background, I was raised by a single parent, so she was never there. So it's something that I've missed, and I didn't want to do it. It could be that probably I overdid it to a point where I didn't feel it though. Last year, I just took off and just be with myself for 2 weeks. And they were so shocked. And by the time they left the home already, so probably she can go through it. Because I waited,
Yes.
I waited because of my upbringing.
Yes.
And I didn't want to be an absent parent. And for me to even not to be there for a slightly second was...
You felt guilty if you do that.
I didn't felt guilty. That's the thing.
Oh.
It was just subconsciously something that I told myself. This is how I'm going to raise my family.
That you always
So
do that.
I didn't feel any of that. If I wanted to go to the movies, it will be me and my girls. There wasn't any time where I just take my time out. Only when they were grown up, and it shook the whole family. So I will agree with you. Probably it is something that one needs to do, not because something has happened, but it's just one of the things that the family understand. That's Tuesday, our mommy's time, and then you see, because with me it was an urgent need. I needed it with all those years, but at that time I didn't pick. Put two together that it was because of that time where I was just being there. Without giving myself a break.
Wow. That's incredible. Like, it just as I'm hearing, it just sounds how it's very important for one to take care of themselves, you know, so that they can be able to even take care of others.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to take us back to a little bit further before you were even a mother. You know, you already were yourselves, you know, so I would like to know, like, what was obviously an obvious change from yourself and from motherhood? Like, what are changes that you feel like you've either went through or you felt like you'd had to adapt to?
Yeah, since you've started, like, it feels like it. Wow. Yo, I've just put all myself in there. That's how I felt. Yeah. All of me, whatever that you can think of, all of you, it was just there. But not from, not taking a time out, because there were moments that I wasn't a housewife or anything. I still needed to work, but I was privileged enough that I chose the job that allows me to be a mom or a parent still. So I will ever be grateful for that. My job didn't consume me to a point where I couldn't be a mother. I will still have to pick you up from school. Don't have to ask to no one. It was just a privilege that was there, which I appreciate. Up until when you were grown up. Yeah, I think 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago I was mostly consumed on my work. Yes, and hubby needed to take a mother role. They get to see the both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I grew up as an only child, but I grew up with my mom was a single parent. Okay, so later she married somebody else. I had a stepfather, but I grew up with my grandparents and I grew up with my uncles and aunts. So I actually grew up in a house with 10 other people, which were my mother's siblings. But the way we grew up, it was almost like it was my siblings. And so they were always, the house was always busy. And then when you're small, when you're young, you actually grow up with this whole dream in your head of, I want to be a mom. And I think society conditioned us into that because they always buy you dolls. So you play with the dolls and you have the teacups and you have, serve tea. And it's like that roles that we use when we're small, to be a good woman, to be a good wife, to be a good mother. So, yes. And I saw my mom and my grandmother, how actually they modeled it. So, yes, it was difficult at the beginning, at the start, because I stayed in Cape Town and my mother wasn't there. I was alone. So I felt lonely. I actually had postpartum depression at one stage. But I would say it came natural in the sense of that love and care, because when I grew up, I was surrounded with that, so I had that. But sharing your space, sharing everything, and then, like you said, it's like, because I grew up in that nurturing environment, I could share with my children, and it was like you say, you give your last bit for your children, you do anything, and that protection, so, yeah. That's how
And
it
with
was.
me, there were no point of reference because my mom, she was a single parent working, and all my aunts, Cosby used to be Cosby Show.
Yes, the Cosby Show. We all love that.
It used
Rudy
to
Huxtable.
It used to be one of those shows where you can envision how households look like and how it's ran. But where I grew up, oh yes, our neighbors as well, they were there, you will know that but you will never really find yourself where you could say, oh, okay, this is how family operates when they are together. These are the roles of a father, these are the roles of a mother, and these are the roles of the kids. I never had that. To a point where probably we self-engineered.
Yeah, you just made up your own as you go along. Yes.
And then it becomes natural. It is a God-given.
Yes, it's true.
Although some people,
I love that. I like how you said it's a God-given, so from your younger self and changing into preparation for motherhood, and also getting references from others in the past. I think they all play a significant role, and I hear that in how you guys have mothered us as well.
Yeah, and I love how you also included like your own mothers and the role that they played in your lives. And it got me thinking, is there any specific, what's the word I'm looking for, trade or something that was passed down that your mothers taught you that you then passed down onto us?
Even though my mom, she was a single parent, all there.
Mm-hmm.
150%. My mom, wow, yes, she was all in there, in her own small ways that she will show up, and she will show up. When I mean showing up, she will show up. Without diving in on experiences, but she did. She was the man of the house, a mother, not just with just 5 of her kids. And she has this heart of also, I would say, adopting other kids as well. And then the house will always be full with other kids and us as well. But she managed to do that, although that's not the character trait that I took. Because I don't think Sipogazi, she's so social. She's a social butterfly. I don't think she took that from me. I don't think, but probably she took that from my mother, because I am my mother. I may not have.
Yes.
It's just in the gene, most probably.
Yes.
But being a host, yes, I'm a good host. When people they're at my home, they don't want to leave, but I love my space so much. I can't keep anyone for 2 seconds. Like my mother, yes. But when they are there, yes, I am only.
So for me, like I said, my mother was a nurse, so she actually worked in Cape Town, and then I stayed with my grandparents in Potchefstroom. So most of the trades are more from my grandmother, because I spent more time with my grandmother. But I remember I always have happy memories of my, growing up, my childhood. And I remember, the smell of hot, homemade fat cook on a cold day. My cousins would always write me, in those days we used to write letters, and they would write letters and say, wow, Fiona, today I miss Granny's bean soup. And, we never got the recipes in doing that, how she made it. And I remember I was small, and then we would take the dough, she would make the fat cook, and I would take the dough, and we had those cookie cutters when, growing up. And then I would use the cookie cutters and use that for the fat cook, and I had star fat cooks and the shapes. But also my granny used each moment as a teaching moment, so she would say, what is that? And to say, it's a star. And what is that? It's a circle. And what is that? It's a square. So it was nice. And I always laugh when I say, looking back, I would go with my grandfather to the shop. We'd use 50 rand and buy food for the week. And then my job was to read from the list. And then I would say what we need to buy. Then I had to calculate. So, that was how actually I had to learn those skills before I went to school. And actually we grew up with a specific trait of working hard. Forever what you want in life, you have to work hard to achieve it. You don't have to wait for somebody to give it on a silver platter. And I think even at school, I knew I had to work hard to perform. And I think my children, Siobhan, them knew, even because of that environment, even I didn't have to tell them, go do your homework. Or actually, it was strict. You can tell what happened when you come from school. There was a certain time for TV, a certain time for everything, but schoolwork always first.
Yep. Yes, definitely. And my mom was definitely those ones where you read the question. You know those TikToks where they read the question and they just answer the question with one out. If Johnny had 5 apples, but it helped me learn.
The educator in me.
But no, I think it really helped us, like you're saying, we really learned from a young age the importance of scheduling and planning and how to be hardworking. So we kept that in the gene.
Yeah, that's always my husband's duty. Yeah, take care of that one. Yes, we split duties. Oh yes, they had to be split. I take care of the nurturing, and then he take care of the
discipline.
The discipliner, yes, homework and stuff. Yeah, and I think that's where the part of the other. Because there's no mother without the father.
Yes.
You
That's
see,
true.
there's no mother without the father, the support of fathers, because we cannot only be everything.
Fulfill all those
There
roles.
is another support structure behind us as well, that they are holding us, and I will never allow for a woman to do almost everything. It has to be split. Everyone must have their own share.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, and yeah.
Sorry, I can imagine how much weight that would be on one person. That would be too unbearable, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. So, yeah, even with that, has there ever been a time where you felt like, yo, this is too much, and maybe you felt like you wanted to give up but didn't? And what helped you to not give up?
Okay, I'll start. I think for me, like I said, I was an educator, so I had to I had my learners at school. Not always like be a mom to them, and then bring work home. And then your second job. I would always say my second job is starting now, being a mom to my own children. So sometimes it would be very overwhelming because coming home, you have to still cook and clean and all of those things, and sit with them with their homework, then grade papers, books, and still prepare for the next day. And I always said people think that teachers or educators have it easy, but weekends and holidays you still have to work. You still have to prepare for the next term. And at one stage, actually, Jacques failed grade. What was it? Grade 2. And then I actually realized I was so consumed in being there for my grade 12 classes that I actually didn't, not that I didn't make time, but I didn't have enough time, to split myself, because it's the pressure, it's different roles, the different caps that obviously the caps that we put on, or the roles the hats we wear. So yes, there was a bit of a conflict, but it's like it's pressure because you have to perform for school, you have to be this, you have to be that, and sometimes you feel, wow, now what about me? So at one stage, I actually was hospitalized with eczema because at that point I couldn't really speak up. I couldn't speak to anybody because sometimes you feel when you share with others, they might feel you are exaggerating, So I kept it to myself. And I never knew that your body could have that reaction, So it was stress, it was anxiety, all of that. And I had eczema, but it was so severe, I was hospitalized for a month. And that is why actually, like your body is telling you something that you don't adhere, we should always listen to our bodies.
Yeah.
And then I had to quit my job and then move to Potch and just take a break because my mother was in Potch and my parents, so I just needed a support structure. And then afterwards, for the other 6 months, I went to work at a creche, just to have a little bit of a balance and find myself again. At that point, because sometimes it feels like you are mother, you are educator, you are aunt, you are niece, you are that, but you forget, who am I? Or sometimes, like you said, to make specific time for yourself. So at that stage, I really didn't have time to do my weekly me time. There was just not enough time. Yeah, but I would encourage everybody. Counseling is good. Therapy is good. Speak up. Speak to somebody. Don't always think, it's okay. I've got it under control.
And with me, it was a different one, especially when it comes being a parent, being a mother, raising kids. I had a lot of support by default. Yes, a lot of support, crashes, daycare centers, after school centers. So there is always those supports, although I have to pay money for some of the support because my mom, they were in Durban. So I had no family around me. So I had to rely on the support that money can bring. The daycare centers, they are not there for free. I didn't have a privilege of my mother coming to my home. So yeah, my one, it was different. Yeah, and I utilized all the channels that I could. And then at the same time I can be able to do the things that I wanted, not to the max. Yeah,
But at least
because
some free time.
was there even a word free time as a mom? It's only now
Yes, it's true.
when now we hear free times and what. With us, there were not such things as free time as a parent. You just need to go in there and show up. And not from a place of as if there's an injustice that one is doing to themselves. But I get the understanding of the body does keep scores.
Yes.
Yeah, any pains or anything, it's not because of the motherhood. It could be from
Yes.
any
It's
other
the
stresses,
outside, external. Yes, exactly.
but not from that platform of motherhood. And but the body does keep scores.
Wow, that is so true. I think it's very important for us to listen to our bodies and what our bodies are telling us. And I think growing up, we always think like, yeah, we always learn this and this and this from our mothers. And, you know, I can say this is what I've learned from my mother and what, you know, I can see like me and Sibukazi, I think there's so much of us and we wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for our mothers. But I think there's also sometimes people forget that parents or especially mothers, they also have things that they pick up or learn from their children. So what are some things that you can think of or remember that you have learned being a mother from your kids?
A lot. She never got to, but the youngest one.
Favoritism here.
No, Ayoki, she's free. Like she takes after her name. Free.
Okay.
So she has a freedom of speech. If I remember correctly now, because I was also raised by an iron hand. So it was found as disrespectful if you're going to ask questions. And her being a firstborn, I don't think she did experience that soft side of me as a woman. I think she got to see that soft side of me. I can even count probably four years back, because I was a hardcore. If you recall my story, being raised by a single parent, and I think you also guys touched on being hard workers and stuff like that. Those are most of the principles that our parents are raised us under. So she never got to see that one. But raising her, this is my princess. Yes. She resumed. Yes, she resumed grace. She resumed calm. She is just that daughter that she's so down to earth by nature. That she could rub that off to me. Yeah, and I felt that. It wasn't me, but it was what I've been given, and then I was able to inherit.
Okay, I think for me, like I said, I was raised by my grandmother mostly. So growing up in that era, it was speak when spoken to, listen to grown-ups, and so we would always just keep quiet and do what is asked of us, even whether you feel you don't want to, or you couldn't disagree. And then because my eldest was very sick. Siobhan grew up very independent. And then also, what I admire about her, she would always speak her mind. Doesn't matter to whom. Even at school, she once told the teacher, "But sir, I don't think that is correct mark that you gave me. I think I deserve a better mark because of X and Y and Z." And people would always say, "Wow, I think you should be a lawyer."
Yeah, that's how you keep.
So yes, that independence and just speaking your mind, like you say, it was seen, like you said, it was seen as being rude, but sometimes, defending yourself and saying why you believe in a cause, we would just accept something and just continue with it. But yes, I admire that.
Was there anything that you've been able to learn from me?
That's what I learned from you.
That's me, okay.
Yes. Speaking your mind, doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Not always have to. Sometimes we feel like, as a growing up, we feel like you have to be in a crowd to. You can't be. How can I say? You can't be comfortable being alone. But there's a difference between being alone and being lonely.
Yeah.
So I learned that from her, that it doesn't matter when you're alone, you just enjoy your own company. And you don't need a lot of people around you to make you happy or to make
Yeah. And if I may add,
Okay.
when she came back on mission, that part of you, and then it started coming out. And I think because she was given a chance of being in a leadership role, so I could sense that side of her coming out after her mission.
Yes.
But already I was already there. You couldn't give it to me.
Yeah. I could have done it.
Yeah. It was wonderful to see.
Yes. The development.
Yeah.
Someone probably triggered it.
Yes.
Because we have all these instincts as human species. It depends on the people that we are with. It's either they activate it or subside it. So the people on her mission kind of like triggered that instinct of leadership, of authority. But in my household, we would never have done that. Otherwise, whoa, it would be a chaos. But I hope she's managing it. Very smart, in fact.
I like to hear that, as much as we are your children, you guys also get to learn from us. I think it's wonderful. So vice versa. I think it just proves how God planned this is. He didn't only just make it for our benefits, those that are growing, but also for the moms. So yeah. And now
we are the liberated moms. By the way. It doesn't go across the border.
It's that liberated box. Yeah.
Yes. We allow it.
Yes.
There's a threshold. Okay. Oh, well. So now, is there anything about motherhood or mental health that you feel like should be more openly spoken about?
Like that women don't speak on.
I would say society expects of you to be perfect. And, like we say, what we learn in your household or how you grow up, you actually, when you are a mother, you would also bring that traits into your own home. So growing up, everything was on point. There can't be like a dishcloth out of place, or, you feel guilty if Like say when I was a mom, I would feel guilty if anything was out of place. But later on, I learned that it doesn't matter. There's kids that's growing up. All the toys can't be packed away always. So, there is that organized chaos, I would say.
Yeah.
Not being untidy, but sort of, so I would say that for women, just give yourself that space not to always be perfect. You don't always need to be perfect. And also, I always said, I hope there was a textbook that I could quickly go fetch it in the library and say, Chapter 1, when they're sick at night, when they have colic, this is what you need to do. Chapter 2, like all of those type of things. But unfortunately, there is no such manual. You make it up along the way. So, you know what? Enjoy motherhood. Enjoy even being pregnant. Enjoy motherhood. Enjoy each single stage in your life. Even enjoy the time when your children are toddlers. Because when they grow up, you miss that. So I would that is my advice I would give. I still remember when I was an educator and Siobhan was at that point at the preschool. And my own child, she wrote on the walls at the school, and they came to call me because she wrote on the walls. So I see nowadays people take their part when they wrote on the wall and they put a frame on there. So things become normal. In our days, you would have gotten a hiding for doing that. Yeah. But I think yes, just enjoy it. Just enjoy each stage of or each phase of the child's life in being a mother. Because, like you say, when you're empty nesters, it's sometimes you don't know what to do with yourself because you've been a mother.
Even the word, I think you guys, you're growing up to a stage where there's you are so exposed with a lot of information that brings meaning and clarity. When we were growing up, there were no terminology for the things, you see.
Yes, exactly.
Even just understanding it, what a toddler is, without feeling as if the house is on fire, because now you don't understand the mind of a toddler, you see.
And I think the important thing is also that no two children are the same.
That's so true.
The one
that's so true.
Quiet, and the other one is...
Oh, yes. This thing of comparing,
exactly.
It doesn't work for the mothers. That you compare, that you're going to get the same sipogazi to your second child. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out if you're going to compare the children. But it does give some clarity. It won't hurt to pick up a book. I see other women these days, young kids as you are, they read books. Tina, we were never taught that you must pick up a book and read. Although now I understand that they've always been there, but it wasn't
accessible,
a platform that one will say the exposure. Let us say exposure and the proximity. Even in our home as well, you start by, at a young age, they pick up those books, and then they will grow up with that understanding that each and every stage in your life you need to cross-reference.
Yes.
There's always resources. But with us, there were never books. But I'm a person that enjoys reading. I don't mind to pick up a book and just to update myself with the current status quo, whether in the motherhood, whether in whatever genre that I feel drawn at that time. So is the motherhood as well. I relied on available resources that were there, books, and the other women that have walked apart as well. they don't mind sharing.
Exactly. Yes, yes. I always said yes. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate our grandmothers. A shout out to our grandmothers, our aunts.
Yeah.
Really, our neighbors even, and they are too happy to share that advice.
Yes.
So please, youngsters, please do make use of that
Right.
important
Yes.
resource.
Yes.
When the time
Without
is
you
right.
guys
Yes.
feeling as if it's an outdated
Yes.
version.
Information.
Yeah,
Oh.
outdated information, because there is that stigma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Outdated, but just to see it, and then you see different couples who are raising, and then you hear, and then you take the one that resonates with you.
Exactly.
You don't have to take
Everything.
everything.
Definitely. Okay, so our last question is gonna be, if you could speak to your younger self at the beginning of your motherhood journey, what would you say?
Repeat that again. Repeat it.
If you could give advice to your younger self at the beginning of your motherhood, what would you say?
I think I would say, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, I would always feel, do you call it beat up? Or I would beat myself up because I would feel like maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe it's supposed to do it like this. And that's again where comparison comes in, because some other people might say, yes, but you shouldn't. You should let the child cry. Don't pick him up. You spoil them. But then, like you say now, books, nowadays, talk shows and things teaches us, you know, the child also needs to be nurtured. He needs to feel that body warmth. And, you know, so, yeah, so I would just say, go easy on yourself, and enjoy the small victories. Celebrate the small victories.
I share the same sentiments. Yeah, just to loosen up. Yo, it's not a big deal. Like you were sharing, you are allowed to give 1 day, 2 days, just for yourself. How nice it is to do it intentionally.
Exactly.
It's in your routine. You see, we never get to even hear
Yes.
what you are hearing now. We didn't get to hear it. You see, intentionality in motherhood.
Exactly.
You see, you go in there by intention that you want to be a mother. And what are the steps? Prepare even before you become a mother.
Exactly, yes.
Not when you find yourself in there, then you
Trial
start
and error.
preparing. And then it becomes a try and error. You see, yeah. So you guys, you're gonna be better than mothers than we did. In fact, you don't have to have the try and errors and stuff like that due to conversations like these ones.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful advice.
Yeah.
So any mothers at the beginning of their journey of motherhood, that was really, I think, exactly what they needed to hear. So thank you for that.
Prepare,
Prepare.
not mistakes. Not in 2026. No, Mama.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
No mistakes. Not in
Plain.
not in this day and age.
I like it that you guys also mentioned that there's tools to have that, you know, so it does also give us no excuse but to also educate ourselves and prepare ourselves. And of course, you know, nothing is written on paper. It might not always go the way you plan it, but the Lord loves effort. He will put the rest even on the effort that you've also put in.
And I would also say, don't be scared to ask for help.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with you if you ask for help. Just ask.
Open your ears.
Yes.
And how Heavenly Father, He is so mindful.
Exactly.
Mindful. Because we say we are praying women.
Yes.
But we are not looking, hearing for the answers.
Yes.
And they are always there.
It's so true. Yes.
He walks with us. Even in our motherhood journeys as well. He's there with us.
Yeah, I think that's another resource, like the most important resource, praying. Because I think we are just here by grace. We are still here. We love the answered prayers of our grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, they would always pray. So always let prayer be the first resource.
And be on a lookout for the answer prayers.
Yes.
Don't miss them.
Thank you so much. We had such a wonderful session with our mothers, and we hope this was also just as inspirational to you guys as it was to us. We really, really enjoyed it, and we'd just love to say thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. Hope you guys have a blast. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.